sweet Gemini! Welcome to Starchaeology Tarot. I am your Starchaeologist, Desi, and I'm excited to get excavating and see what is in store for you for the month of April. I'm setting the intention to receive messages, deliver messages for you that will only align you with your highest self and highest path, and also direct your attention to what needs your attention the most right now, your focus. So let's begin. Oh boy, Gemini, what do we got here? Can you believe these first cards, this first pairing we pulled out? 2 Three of Swords cards. This is the situation that you find yourself in right now, and boy, does my heart go out to you in this time. You might be experiencing very intense heartbreak right now, very intense sorrow. You're assimilating a lot of pain. And because this is swords, there is something in this pain that comes from words, what someone has spoken to you, news that someone broke to you. I see a lot of you feeling as though you've been betrayed right now, or you are in the process of a sort of betrayal. For some of you, though, I'm hearing that this is a betrayal of the self. This is not necessarily a betrayal that someone else has exacted upon you, but rather a way in which you have betrayed yourself by not being true to your own words, to your own beliefs about yourself. And now you are alone with yourself, facing the pain of having betrayed yourself, your true self, betrayed your soul, your spirit, your heart in some way. And it's the fact that this is a double Three of Swords tells me that this is an incredibly heavy thing for you. This is a very, very heavy time. This is double the pain of one heartbreak. It's 2 hearts breaking. It's 2 hearts breaking in you. I also think, though, the fact that this is these two are appearing here together tells me that this is the pain that you are assimilating right now and processing right now. It is brutal, but the transformation that it has the potential to incite in you is also double the transformation. There is great potential for how this revolutionizes your life, how this event redirects you on your path, and aligns you better with your heart and with your thoughts, with your feelings and your thoughts and the words you speak, so that this does not happen to you again. You are learning from this in a way that it is transforming your future. It's almost like 3 of Swords plus 3 of Swords cancels out 3 of Swords. You are doing this pain, you are taking on this pain now so that you will not have to take on this type of pain again. So be sure that you give it the gravity that it deserves to truly process it and assimilate it and let it change you. This isn't a sorrow that you want to bury and store for another time to process, because what you risk then is falling prey to it again in the future. The advice here, also, sorry, before I move on there, 3 of Swords too, this is like a double 3, 3-3. 3-3, that is a very, very powerful number in numerology. It's, in Christian tradition, it's the number of Christ consciousness. The brutal pain that you are facing, with it is coming deep truth. You are facing deep truths that will open your eyes so wide that you won't be able to ever close them to this again. You won't ever be able to be blind to the things that you might have been blind to in this situation ever again. It is birthing, and 3, the number of creation, it is creating a new consciousness in you that is leveling you up in your spiritual game. You are leveling up right now. And there's a real gift in that. I also see, just because this is the fact that there are 2 of these here, I think some of you are experiencing this very literally as actual troubles with your heart right now. Either physically going through some sort of, maybe those of you with a long-standing heart condition are experiencing some difficulties right now, but also those of you with long-standing heart conditions of the emotional type. The brutal truths that you are facing may be about the way in which you go about love, the way in which you go about loving, and the way in which you go about receiving love, how you see the exchange of love, and how perhaps your belief systems, as swords, about love have only seemed to turn the sword on yourself. Again, I'm hearing a form of emotional self-betrayal for many of you. That might be something to meditate on. What are the ways in which you feel as though your belief systems about love and how you are deserving of love, what kind of love you deserve, your own value and worth through the lens of love and relationship, how those things, how those belief systems have possibly, how your own belief systems have possibly been weaponized against you. Are you using those swords to defend yourself or to offend yourself? Those swords, they can be used as defense and never actually, they can be held in defense and actually never used, but more symbolize a sort of respect for yourself, a sort of boundary setting for yourself. You hold up a sword and you set a boundary. Doesn't mean you ever have to actually use it violently, but I think many of you have been holding these swords that are meant for defense, swords that are meant for setting boundaries, these words that you should be speaking to be setting your own boundaries that show respect to yourself, that show loyalty to yourself. And instead, you have been using those weapons against yourself. You have been turning the blade onto yourself as if as if you are an emotional manifestation of an autoimmune illness. Where your immune system attacks itself. It's almost like your heart is attacking itself. This could be something that is new for you. This could also be a long-standing pattern of your heart turning on itself. And there is something about this time right now at the beginning of April where this is coming to light for you. And it's coming to light because it's time for it to be healed. It's time for that sorrow and that pain and sense of betrayal to be assimilated, processed, and then tied up with a beautiful sense of closure that can serve you. The advice here and the action that you should take, and we're leading here with an action card, the Knight of Wands plus the Empress. Knight of Wands that's the most fiery of all fire cards in tarot. It's fire of fire. It is truly attacking something with soul purpose and with real desire, soul desire to go after that thing, to go on that adventure, to embark on that quest, to charge into that attack. But the thing that is charging into your life right now is abundance. It is the Empress. It is creativity. It is the creation of complete abundance and warmth and space, full space to hold you right now, to hold you and mother you right now. This is a charge towards a mother's arms, towards a mother's embrace. And the universe is charging towards you to give you that. The universe is charging towards you right now with open arms, ready to sweep you up into that mother's embrace, into that hug. And the advice here is to not wait for it to come to you. This is that moment this is the dramatic cinematic moment where we see two people running across a field and it happens so much sooner, and the buildup is so much more moving and beautiful when both of them are charging towards each other, not one just charging and the other one waiting. Don't stand idly and wait for this abundance to charge to you. Meet it halfway. Meet the universe halfway and charge towards it with your arms open, because that is the signal. That is how you signal to that divine mother that you want to be hugged, that you are ready to be held, that you are ready for this pain to be healed, for this sorrow to be assimilated. You are ready to be comforted so that you can stop crying like a child. It also refers to that Empress card is about a mother's love specifically. It is love without expectation, without binding. Oh my God, I hope that this is work.
Sorry about that, guys. I just panicked that there was no sound. Everything's fine. Sorry for that interruption. But this is about as I was saying, loving the way that a mother loves. And I think that might be the missing piece for you in this revolution of your heart that you are experiencing, in this this reflection on the beliefs and thoughts and words that you speak into your reality about love. And therefore the love that you manifest for yourself. I think this could be one of those light bulb moments for you. How is that love? How does that compare to a mother's love? How does it compare to this love that the Empress card teaches us? Does the heartbreak and betrayal and sorrow come from this attachment, adherence to a conditional brand of love in your life, whether that is self-love or the love that you expect between you and others? Are you holding yourself to expectations? Are you holding them to expectations that are always a recipe for sadness and disappointment? When we are able to love anyone the way that a mother loves a child, when we are able to apply this type of unconditional love to everyone in our lives, and everyone not in our lives for that matter, to complete strangers on the street, that is when we really grow spiritually. And also, simultaneously, when we actually finally allow ourselves to be happy and to accept the gifts for what they really are in our lives. Because there is no veil of expectation, no, not rose-colored glasses, but, icky colored glasses that are distorting the real beauty in our lives and making us feel sad about not being loved a certain way. Of course, this doesn't apply to, any sort of toxic relationship that is parading as real love, but more so the ways in which we feel like we overthink love and place judgments on it about what it means and what its value is to us in our lives, or how it reflects on us and how lovable we are when that love does not seem to meet certain expectations, when that love disappoints us in certain ways, or it's not exactly the way that we would love. The love we are receiving is not the way that we love. It doesn't match that perfectly, and it won't, because everyone loves different ways. If you haven't looked into the 5 love languages at all, that I really recommend that as a resource. It's such a beautiful way of understanding that there are different languages for love, and that one way is not more valuable than another. We often think that we are not receiving the love that we desire because we're just looking for it through the wrong avenue, or through an avenue that we are it's coming through an avenue that we don't expect it to come through. So I think with this Empress and this Knight of Wands, the landscape of your life is fertile right now for really strong love to sprout in place of the love that has disappointed you, of the heartbreak that has disappointed you, and your belief systems about love. There's real fertile ground. Your life is fertile ground for new belief systems to bloom, to grow and bloom in place there too. What is crucial, though, is that you do give this the time that you need to process it and really face the brutal truths of it. If it's painful to face those brutal truths, it will be, let me rephrase that. It is painful to face those brutal truths, but you don't change your situation without fully facing those brutal truths. If you realize something about yourself or something about a relationship that is disappointing to you and you know that you need to change it, don't waste any time judging yourself for not having realized that up until this point, or for having done anything wrong up until this point. You haven't done anything wrong. You've done exactly what you've needed to do up until this point to bring you to this very perfect moment that you have now to change it, to shift it. Growth means nothing when there's no context of being in a place that wasn't serving us. Changing to something that does serve us, the only value it has, the only value that shift has, is in the shift itself. It is in going from doing things wrong, however you are judging that, labeling that, to making it right. But really, all of it is right. It is all part of that journey, because we wouldn't experience the shift and wouldn't value the shift without being in that first place first. So don't waste a moment of time. This is no time to sit back and reflect. This is a time to get on your horse and ride towards the abundance and love that the universe is holding for you right now. That space that the universe is holding for you right now. It chooses you as soon as you choose it. You choose each other simultaneously. You meet each other in the middle when you meet each other in the middle. So start running if you haven't yet. The outcome of this, I think by the end of April, you guys will, this is really wild to me. We have the Five of Cups plus the Death card. This is a huge closure and huge transformation for you. I think that this Three of Swords card could be something that is really just happening, that has just been happening recently. But I do think for many of you, this goes back to very old sorrow. It's almost like maybe the fact that this is, we've got this double card here. It's like that there's just extra focus on that right now that is signaling to me that for many of you, this Three of Swords triggers old wounds for you. Very, very old sorrow. And even though the event itself might be something that happened recently, it's only bothering you so much because it is a reflection of a pattern that has happened for a number of years, that has created grooves of wounds in your heart. It's like being wounded in the same place over and over and over again. And it makes it so that that wound never really heals if you keep opening it up and you keep creating the wound. So this, I think for many of you, this is old stuff, old sorrow that is finally being, or having a chance to be assimilated. And I think you need to remember that you are the leader in assimilating that. You are the healer here. You are your ultimate healer. You don't need anyone else but yourself to heal this part of you. You don't need to wait for the next relationship to fix you, or the perfect, what you attach to that definition of the perfect love to be the thing that fixes you. This is a shift in your own mindset about yourself, whether it is self-love or it is your ideas about love and about relationship. It's an internal shift for you, an internal mindset shift. And I think that this old sorrow has been an all-consuming grief that just seems to go away and then resurface. It's like a tide. And it's time to really bring a permanent closure to that. And that is what is in store for you at the end of April. A truly permanent closure, which would lead to a life-opening transformation. This will open your life in ways that you couldn't imagine, because this is the heart that I think you have been walking around with for God knows how long. And walking through the world with an open heart versus a heart that has these seemingly internal, never healing wounds, this stigmata that just like opens and opens and opens again, that you can't, that's so limiting to you, and that's not fair to you. You deserve to experience life with an open heart, because with an open heart, the world opens up to you in return. Other hearts open up to you in return. Everything is just a mirror. Everything on the outside of us is just a mirror of the inside of us. So, and that works, both ways. That's a two-way street. So the changes that you make internally, that's all you have control over. And the beauty in that is that you transform the world around you by transforming the world inside you. Your time for mourning is important. Whatever this is, your time for mourning is important. But there will be a time at the end of this month where you turn around and you see the 2 cups that are still standing behind you. And they have been there all along. You have 2 full cups right behind you, waiting for you for whenever you're ready for the mourning period to be over. And let me assure you, the mourning period is nothing more than a period. It is a transient state. It is a fleeting time. It is meant to be definite and limited. It is not meant to go on forever. You are not meant to be processing these wounds forever, or to be suffering by these wounds forever. I think you can reflect, we all reflect on the difficulties in our life, the suffering in our lives for a very long time. But there's a difference between reflecting on those things versus letting those things control you, letting those things define you and how you exist in the world. And when they control us, that is for the mourning period, not beyond the mourning period. The mourning period is not designed to be a lifetime. It shouldn't be a lifetime. But you decide if it is for you. My advice is to let it be done. And I think the cards showing up here, ending with this death card, is such an affirmation that the end of April, the universe is stepping up to transform this with you. You're not alone in transforming this. You're not alone in creating closure here. The universe is supporting you in that closure and wants this chapter to end for you. The positivity and the blessings in your life that are on the horizon after this time will be, again, I'm just hearing this word life opening. I don't even know if that is a word, but it will open your life for you. It will open your life. This is really exciting, Gemini, and I think you have not necessarily the easiest month, but the most rewarding times in our lives are never the easiest times, in my opinion. And I think that even though there are certainly moments of this and this, this is what is rushing towards you right now, and this is between all of the lines. This is between all of the moments of heartbreak. It's your backdrop here. And soon those lines are going to fade away as you process them and assimilate them, and all that will be left is this. So let those moments seep in. Let this seep in more and more until this becomes the whole picture. Happy April. You guys are amazing. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I'm so grateful to you, and I love you very much. Thank you.